Hey, you know when last time I spoke English, truly spoke English, it was about 6 years ago. That was the last time I was in the US. I got my master's in Chicago. I was about to go to LA. And now, 6 years later, I'm in a completely different environment. Post-sanctioned Russia, here I am, almost stuttering for words, in a language I haven't spoken for 6 years. But you know me from the Crimea vlogs, and that was a year ago, and that's how you subscribe to the channel. And after that, I disappeared off the radar again. The truth is, I've been going through a slight identity crisis. And before I start filming, I gotta figure out who I am. My roots are from this city. In fact, it's a city I was born in, Ufa, Russia. And this is where I came to see my grandmother, who still lives here, and she's 96 years old. I'm of Russian descent. Well, I mean, not even really. Ethnically, I'm Bashkir, who are an indigenous people to this region, but I grew up in California, traveled all over Southeast Asia for a long time. It was like, I don't even know who I am and what I stand for. I mean, what do I represent, really? What group am I a part of? When I started my vlogs from Crimea, I had mixed feelings about it, to be honest. I almost had this sense that part of the viewers had this political expectation towards me, that I had to paint a rosy picture of everything I see. For example, Crimea under Russian rule, and praise Russia. And like other part of the viewers of the audience, they wanted me to denounce Russia and its occupation of Crimea, you know what I mean? People have this sort of tribalistic mentality almost on YouTube these days. And for a while, I just didn't want to be a part of all that. I wasn't even sure what my narrative was, I guess. Do I now have to praise Russia all along in my vlogs to sort of get the likes, you know, succumbing to a, like I said, tribal mentality? You know how there's like this trend, almost in Russia at least, a captivated foreigner praising everything he sees in Russia, thrilled about everything. He's just strolling the streets and like, wow, look at this, Russia is so civilized. Yeah, that really flies here, you know. People like to see foreigners praising their country. But it's like, to be honest, that's not really me. On the other side, do I have to follow the Western media narrative now and talk about how Russia is crumbling and everyone is poor and unhappy? I mean, that doesn't make sense either, right? So I was kind of procrastinating for a while. Well, you know what I decided? I will be me, with my immediate feelings, thoughts, impressions. No matter how ironical or paradoxical it might seem, I'll just share my insights with you in the moment, my immediate reaction, and let the viewers make their own conclusions, for better or worse. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, without further ado, I present to you, folks, Soviet manners. Welcome. I'd like to call it an outside the narrative vlog. Yeah, just like I said about my immediate experiences and the layers I uncover for you guys. The job of this vlog is not to praise or denounce Russia, but to share my human experience. And in the process, try to figure out, who the hell am I? What do I stand for? And what do I want to do with my life? I have no idea at this point. So these are the first sunny days in Ufa, Russia. Right about 20 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure how much that is in Fahrenheit. Weather's beautiful. Everything's starting to get green. If you want to compare Ufa to some city in the US, I would say the closest analogy I have is Kansas City. I don't know why, but it just sounds about right. Considering the vibes, it's not a particularly glamorous city. Talking about Ufa, although you know what, I haven't been to Kansas City, so I'm just going by stereotypes, I guess. It's mostly industry, machinery, pretty much down-to-earth folks, giving off this periphery vibe. Nothing really trendy, although this is like a downtown area. This is the most central part of Ufa, so this is as good as it gets, with the most expensive restaurants around, with all the universities. It's very utilitarian, if I might say. It has an international airport, it has everything you need pretty much. It's easy access, pretty much a 20-minute ride to any part of the city. Has all the stores. Other than that, I'm not even sure, like if you were to come to this city, what would I show you? What are the landmarks that Ufa has? There are not really much of them. Maybe a couple of statues, and that would be all. But the number one asset for me in any city or any country is people. That's the most important thing, I think. You know how you can go to a different country and like people go and visit museums and statues and landmarks. I just like to feel it out, you know, just get the vibes off of the people. Not to say that the people in Ufa are in some way outstanding. Nah, I wouldn't say that. They are more polished and refined in cities like St. Petersburg. That's for sure. By most part, simple folks. Like I said, nothing glamorous, special. So, the question is, well, what am I doing here? That's the real question. Well, for one thing, my grandmother lives here. And this is a city I was born in. And this is a city where I have a crib. Yeah, my own little izbushka. You know what that is? Like a little wooden flat on the outskirts of the city. My dwelling that I don't have to pay the rent for to anybody, well, except the electricity, of course, and the taxes, which are not high by any standards. And that's about it. Yep. Just, I guess, an easy way out to live and just get by. And that's the question I was asking myself all along. Do I want to do anything else with my life, maybe? Especially considering the political events, the sanctions, and the way things have been developing in Russia with the restrictions of the social media and internet and, you know, things like that. We can talk about it separately if you like. So this is the place where I'm at right now. Just contemplating, thinking for myself, my next steps, and I decided, why don't I share my thoughts with you guys? And show you Russia along the way. By the way, for the Westerner, for a casual viewer, Russia is like really off limits. And the way an average Westerner perceives Russia is absolutely wrong, I would say, in my opinion. Like, really, nobody really fully understands Russia. The things I've seen, like the vlogs I've seen, even, I don't think anyone has really unpacked the Russian phenomena for the Western audience, for the Western viewers. They get them wrong in so many ways. Like, there are so many misconceptions. Like, Russians are nationalistic, like they are very proud of their heritage. You know what? I would actually argue that. I might even go as far as saying, I believe deep down inside they almost have an inferiority complex. Wow. Woo. That's a powerful thing to say, huh? I know it sounds weird and strange. But why do you think the Russians want to be liked so much? It is so important for them to be viewed positively by the Westerners. I know it sounds strange to you, but they want to be like them in so many ways you have no idea. Although the Western media paints them as very nationalistic, very proud of their culture and heritage. Well, in some ways they are. But if you just look around, you will see that a lot of times they're just trying to be modern and looking up to the Westerners in so many things. Anyway, I guess I have a lot of things to share with you. Once again, purely subjective, just my own observation. I don't clinch to my own opinions. If you prove me otherwise, that's no problem with me. If you are interested in Russia, and not only Russia, maybe you're like me, trying to make sense of the outside world. Maybe, like me, you're not sure where you belong and you're a foreigner anywhere you go. How's that saying goes? Stranger among own? Something like that. Nice place, huh? A lot of families with children, they say Russia's population is shrinking, but everywhere I look, it's like you have families and mothers with children. That's weird, huh? But yeah, I mean, the brutal truth is Russia is losing its population. And it's projected to lose even more in the coming years. In fact, there's a shortage of people now. I would say a shortage of a labor force. In fact, the government officials themselves have been talking about it. Right now, they're considering immigration as a solution to this shortage. I think it sounds familiar for Westerners, right? Oh yeah. Immigration is also an issue in Russia. So yeah, this is the downtown, the center of Ufa. This is Art Gallery Mall. Actually, a buddy of mine works there. We can actually give him a visit if you want. This used to be like the most fashionable mall. Right now, there are no well-known global brands because of the sanctions. Everyone left. Not to say that there is nothing to purchase. Of course, there is no shortage of clothes, nothing like that. And there is lots of food, the shelves are full. But the global brands are not there. So a lot of times Russians, just to buy shoes like Nike or purchase something from popular stores, they just go abroad to neighboring countries. Yeah, a buddy of mine works in this supermarket. He makes sushis. What do you call them? Sous chef. Let's surprise him. I'm not sure if he's working today. Okay, this is where he's supposed to be. He's not here. Well, okay. We'll come back next time. You know what? Let's go visit my grandmother. She is 96 and she's seen it all. The World War II, the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Russian crisis in the 90s, and now the current situation. I was brought up by her and her husband, my grandfather. I was living with them up until I was right around 5 or 6 years of age. Still a very wise woman for her age, and considering she's 96, she's very witty. Actually gives me advice to this day. Oh yeah, and one thing I want to say, guys, is I went through all of your comments and I tried to answer everyone. Sorry for the late response. It's almost been a year, I know. Like I said, I've been procrastinating. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't miss anything. Thank you for your comments. This is it. There's grandmother. Привет.
Привет.
Camera.
Давай раздевайся. А то картошка остывает.
My grandmother actually lives here with her daughter. That's my aunt. That's her when she was young. With her husband, and he's my grandfather. There he is. Guess what this is? This is actually some money that my grandma tried to give me, which is 20,000 rubles. I would say around $200. She stashed that away out of her pension and graciously offered me some money. And I'm not even sure how to proceed, because if I refuse, she will be offended, very much so. So, she's speaking Bashkir. I have some potatoes, chicken. I love chicken. Look at that man, 96 years old. Can you imagine that? It's actually an awesome Soviet-style apartment. Look at this huge balcony. This was given to my grandmother, my grandfather by the Soviet government, like in the 80s, during the rise of socialism when they used to hang out apartments. And my grandfather was like a professor, a scholar, so he received this apartment from the government. Thank you very much. Спасибо.
Садись.
Спасибо большое.
Моего золота. Мой внук. Неужели денег не найдут на мои похороны? И сказала я ей, давай, мама, говорит, на твои похороны деньги будем копить. Но тебе это не смешно? Давай кушай. Сколько я переживала, почему тебя нет и нет.
Yeah, my grandmother is irritated because I'm with the camera. She wants me to start eating the food, so I gotta go. That's English. English. America.
Давай, кушай. Дела появились, да? Вкусно все.
Да.
Была с собой возьмешь.
Спасибо.
На здоровье. В спальне будешь еще?
Mm-hmm.
На здоровье, давай.
Yeah, so this is the apartment I grew up in. I lived here until I was like 5 years old, I think. This is it. My grandfather was alive, my aunt was here, my grandmother, and me. We all essentially lived in this apartment. Brings back early childhood memories. So that was my grandmother. Hope you enjoyed the introduction and the stroll in the downtown area. Now we're back to baseline. This is like the real standard Russia. You can tell by the roads. They look like they've been. This is like the Stalingrad in 1940s, right? I'm not sure if it's the sanctions kicking in or the shortage of money. This year in particular, the roads are just horrible and no one's like fixing them. Usually you'd have roadworks everywhere by this time, but now it's like nothing is being done. You have some condos being built here and there, but usually, like a couple of years back, there was a lot more construction going on. So there has been a considerable slowdown in that regard as well. The economic situation is, let me put it this way, not the best. Although I think it's safe to say that's a global trend. Now we're going outside the city limits to the countryside. Well, not exactly the countryside. I would say it's like the Russian suburbia. That's where my dwelling is, like I said, where I can just lay back and kick it. That's probably the only reason I'm in the city. Well, besides babushka, of course, my grandmother. All the while, I've been procrastinating for the last year. I've actually been to countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, Nepal, Malaysia, Thailand, Uzbekistan. So I visited around 7 countries. That's where I always have to pay for my rent. And of course, Ufa, Russia is the only place, like I said, I don't pay the rent. And during economic hardships, you know, that's a very nice thing to have your own residence for whatever it's worth. I built it myself several years back. And really, when you put everything aside, no matter how nice or fun the city or the country is, when it all comes down to money and economy, you basically choose a place where you can survive, right? I think that's the statue of Salawat Yulayef. This is the local Congress, and if I'm not mistaken, if that's Salawat Yulayef, well, there is a statue of Salawat Yulayef elsewhere. Anyway, that's a Bashkir national hero, although for many Russians, he's considered a terrorist. You know how it usually is. The good guys always win, and the ones who lose are the embodiment of evil. That's the way history works, right? Well, because winners write history. We're getting a little bit of traffic here. Not LA traffic, of course, but you have to spend around 15-20 minutes in traffic jams. Not so bad. But again, I guess cities like LA have something to wait for, right? Otherwise, what would be the sense for people living there and spending half of their time in traffic jams? There has to be something in return, right? The situation with the traffic cameras is brutal this year. I guess it's the Russian government is in need for the money. So the fines are kicking in. Like virtually every cross section you see, it has cameras. Cameras for the stop line, for speeding, for everything. I've never seen so many cameras in US. There isn't a single city that has so many cameras as Ufa, for example. All right, folks, we almost made it to my crib. Look at these roads. It's like a freaking war zone. Like they've been bombed. Ooh, yeah, so this is where I live. And you're about to see it. And I would appreciate your thoughts on it. Basically, I live in the middle of nowhere by global standards, right? And I traded this location because of, in order to save a few bucks on rent for any other place I could probably potentially be, in order to end up somewhere like here. What do you think, guys? Was it worth it? Alright guys, you're about to see my humble little place that I built a few years back on this patch of land I acquired for myself. This is it. You're probably wondering what it cost me. That's a whole story on its own. But by Western standards, and especially looking at today's prices, I'd say it was probably stupid cheap. Yeah, started from scratch. We did the foundation with my neighbor. Actually, we did everything. The fence. Yep, there was only an empty piece of land. Just a small little house and a banya, 2-in-1. A banya is like a steam house. So, welcome to the place where miracles happen. don't go too harsh on me. I built it with the last bit of money I had. So I was just trying to make something work. Here you go. Ta-da! Well, that's basically it. You know what? Yeah, part of me feels like I'm overloading you with the unnecessary details. Hey, that's not what you think. That's from India. Yeah, that was a present I brought back from India. So, like I said, drop a comment in the comment section if you want me to dive deeper into things like that, all the details of my dwelling. But in any case, I appreciate your subscription, and if you like this type of content, I'm sure we have many interesting places ahead. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time, hopefully sooner than a year. See ya.